Hey everyone, Stephanie here, coffee drinker, book lover, and reviewer of many things, and today I'm going to talk about magic, what's it called? Oh my goodness, I'm already messing up. Magic Lessons. It's a prequel to Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman off of my 2024 reading challenge, and yeah. Also, I forgot the lid to my cup, but I've got. Don't show the coffee. Just kidding. What do you need?
Here you go.
Look at that.
A page.
Okay.
A pumpkin.
Let mommy make this video and then we can play. Okay? Go on.
Yummy.
So, I was really excited to read Magic Lessons. I'm a huge fan of anything witchy and magical. Plants. I don't know. They got little moons and stars on them. If you hear noises in the background, it's my kid. She's microwaving food on a little toy microwave. Anyway, so I actually saw the Magic Lessons and all of Alice Hoffman's books, like, in a library, not a library, in a bookstore back, like, two years ago, I think it was. I was walking around at a Harry Potter event, and I was like, we were just walking. We couldn't afford anything at the time, and all of a sudden I was like, they are the prettiest books. Okay, prettiest. I love the cover, and then if you like take the dust jacket, is that what it's called? The cover. If you take whenever you have the hardback book, the hardcover is so pretty too. I love the foiling. Okay, sorry, I don't have this book with me. I borrowed this one from the library. It is on my list of books to buy, though. I want all of them. So, Magic Lessons was a really good book. It had a lot. It's from it's not from the 1600s. It's based in the 1600s, and you get to sort of see part of the, if you've seen Practical Magic, the Owens sisters and how, what happens with them. You get to see some of their ancestors, and you hear about the witch trials, and I'm not going to give it away, but their ancestor, Maria and Faith, are involved in the witch trials, or kind of before the witch trials, and then Faith goes back for a reason I'm not going to say because it's a spoiler, so I'll spoil it later. This is not the spoiler part. And you get to see how they how their paths work out. I have trouble not spoiling stuff, so I usually just skip to the spoilers. But I'm gonna behave. If you like books that have historical value to them, this one's pretty spot on for the historical value. You hear about, how the Jews came and the Dutch people came over, and how America was kind of not founded because this happened like right after that. Like, New York was up and coming, Manhattan was starting to become, no thank you, was starting to become populated, and even though some of their religion wasn't brought with them. They you found out that a lot of people practiced their religion in secret. You found out that even people who didn't believe in magic, didn't believe in witchcraft, because it was against their faith, would have this urge when there was something wrong to just find an Owen, to find Maria or Hannah before her, like, because they helped people for cheap, for a bag of oranges, or a blanket that was knitted in payment, or some eggs. Yeah, even though they probably didn't need them. There are some parts. Okay. There's young love in this book, and you, as a person who knows history, once you hear his name, you're like, no, you can't like him, no. And then she goes on a ship and saves a guy's life, and she's like drawn to him, and there's some romance in here that you're like, oh, I wish this was, oh, I just want her to be with this person so badly. And I'm not going to spoil if she's with him or not, but I have to give a spoiler warning. There is death of a bird that is like family, and the death of a wolf that is being told to everyone else that it's a dog, and both of those are very, very emotional. There is also a child stolen. I don't want to go into too much detail. I can't remember what the back of the book says, so I don't know if I'm spoiling or not, but our main character loses. I already told you they're involved in the witch trials. She's been ripped out of her house, and she's in her nightgown, and because it's the middle of the night, and she's picked up her child because she's like, Mama, what's going on? She's like freaking out. And so she's holding her 5-year-old, and this woman comes over, and I'm not going to tell you much about this woman because you're going to have to read the book to find out, or wait until the spoilers. This woman is not really here to help her, but she's like, I don't want her, those gels they're a terrible place for children, and they won't feed her, and there are rats down there that will, bite her, and we don't want her to get sick, and all of, list out all these terrible things that, as a mom, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, please just take her. Like, don't let her go into the jail. And then the woman steals her away, and immediately they leave, and it's like 5 years before she sees her kid again. I think it's more than that, but it was very hard to read that part, because as a mom myself, I'm like, that would kill me. I would be distraught every day. And Maria she gets freed. I'm not going to tell you how. It's so romantic. Anyway, she gets freed, and when she goes looking, obviously she's like, okay, we got to get out of here. Let me go get my kid from this lady. And they get there, and the house is locked up tight, and she's like, and they can hear I can't tell you because it's a spoiler, but the house is almost completely empty, and they realize that she's gone. So they have to go through the whole process of trying to figure out how to get the kid back. And they search. I'm saying they because there's someone with her. They search for a while. But eventually, I'm going to say, they eventually find Faith. And she's not the same innocent little girl that she was before she was stolen. And her heart has changed, and they talk about, or she talks, the book talks about how her lifeline changes, and she goes down a dark path. I don't know what else to say without spoiling things from here. It's a good book, okay? So I definitely recommend it, especially if you like practical magic. I want to read the rest of the books in the series now, but we'll have to wait on that. So before I go to the spoilers, if you're still with me, I'm going to go ahead and tell you my other stuff that I'm doing. I just got Flower Heart by Catherine Bakewell. I'm going to be reading that. That's my next book on here, and I got that from the library. And I have put Before and Laughter by Jimmy Carr on my Audible. And I've ordered, because I can't find it anywhere else, Sinister Spring by Agatha Christie. I think it's a bunch of short stories. So I'm excited about that. And then if you come back after this video is posted, I'm going to be doing a video for Harry Potter because I finished Harry Potter. And I think my next book that I'm going to read is either Nancy Drew, The Secret of the Old Clock, or Anne of Green Gables. I'm also on book 5 of Fruits Basket, and I love these books. I definitely recommend them. Yes, it's a manga. Yes, I don't care. Don't judge me. Here's the beautiful cover of Flower Heart. I am 2 chapters in. I'm also reading Around the World in 80 Plants, and I like plants. I think they're pretty. This tells you some dark history of different plants from around the world. I mean, there's some good stuff in there too, but anyway, so this is where my non-spoiler part is going to end. Oh, I'm also trying out a new coffee. I don't remember what it's called, but I'll put a picture of it here or here. It has different things in it. I don't remember. It has stuff in it. So I just looked it up. My coffee is called by Bear Organics, and it's energizing coffee with superfoods, and it has some stuff in it that's supposed to help promote energy, and has antioxidants in it and other stuff. It's pretty good. I had to look it up because then I was like, I don't know. Yeah. So I will have everything that I've talked about linked in the comment below. So if you don't want spoilers, you can leave, and this could be the end of the video for you. But if you want spoilers, you can stay tuned because I'm going to give away some spoilers that I either liked or made me really sad. And yeah, okay. So if you're leaving, go now. I'll see you on my next video. Come back for Harry Potter. You know you want to. Harry Potter's the best. Okay. Me and you are going to talk about spoilers now. So, first, the way, like, Maria's biological mom just left her in the snow, hoping that Hannah would find her. Like, your kid's gonna die. It's freezing outside. I had to get that off my chest. Like, that was, like, my biggest thing. Like, I was like, and I love how we got to see Maria grow up. Like, this whole book was Maria's book. You got to see how she, was raised by Hannah, and how her familiar was, like, the first thing, like, if it wasn't for her bird, her crow, whatever, then she wouldn't have been found. He was like, hey, come here. There's a here. And he made it known very soon that he was not leaving her side. And Hannah was like, great, now we have a bird in the house. I liked that. I liked seeing that girl. I think her mom should have just stayed away. Her kid would have been safer if, what was her name? Rebecca, I think, was Maria's mom's name. If she wouldn't have come asking Hannah for help, then her husband wouldn't have showed up with all the men in town to burn down Maria's house with her pinned to the door. I was like, and then Maria went back and saw, I do like that, it was like almost instantaneous because they lit her house on fire and the sparks hit their little garden, and there was plants in there that if you breathed them in, you would die or get really sick and almost die. I do like that they were all affected. That was one of my favorite things. I was like, payback, karma. We all know what karma is. I don't really like that Maria went to Rebecca afterwards, but I get that she was 10. She had nowhere else to go, and she was like, I gotta go and tell this woman what she did. It kind of also upset me that her dad practically sold her for her own good into indentured servitude. He was like, hey, you can sell her as a slave and get money as long as she's free by the age of 16. I was just like, excuse me? What kind of father does that? Like, they could have taken her with them. They could have all gone on the boat together. I know. It's told in the book that her mom and bio dad were so into each other that everything else didn't matter. And it kind of irritated me. But Maria could see her mom's death and was just like, okay. She got a nice pair of shoes out of it. She met the man, Hawthorne. And was drawn to him. Well, how I guess explained is she felt passionately towards him. And when you're reading it, you're kind of, because she's 15, so like maybe that passion is the first time she's felt any passion, and so it's like maybe she thinks that it's love, but it's not. It's a warning, stay away from him, he's dangerous. But we don't know for sure. And then I liked the guy she met on the ship on the way to Boston? Salem? Well, the ship, I think, went to Boston and then she had to travel to Salem. Something like that. Oh my god, I forgot his name. Samuel? Or was it Abraham? We meet his dad too. They have the same last name. My brain is like... Anyway, she just needed to stay with him. 16, she just needed to stay where her heart wanted to be. But her brain was like, no, I gotta go find this man that said he loved me. And, when she found out that he already had, like, when she found out Hawthorne already had a family before he had been with her, that's like... Oh, and then the girl's not much older than she is. I know, times were different back then. It's just like, ew. She was 13 when he took her in. Anyway, that was all. Okay. When Hawthorne is like, here's some money, leave. And she's like, I'll take this money, but I'm staying. I'm gonna buy that land out in the woods. It's mine. I'm gonna come back to town all the time. That was one of my favorite things. I thought it was hilarious. And then, when we met Martha, that's the bad lady's name that steals Faith. And then whenever we find out everything when you find out everything that happened to Faith while Maria was looking for her, it's just, no wonder this girl went down the bad path. I do like that, Diaz, the man that loves Maria, he was bringing her plants from around the world, and when I read that, he brought a tree across the ocean and then saved her from being hung. I looked up at my husband and I was like, you never bring me trees from across the ocean. And he was like, what? I was joking. He lets me plant things. It's fine. Like he has a choice. I plant what I want to plant. Anyway, it was just the romantic gesture, and I like the story of the man who helped save Faith. Technically, Faith saved herself. I love that. But when she's like, here's this, please, let's get out of here. She's a bad lady. Don't stop for her. Yeah. And then she just watched her drowned. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, you should have just walked away instead of watching. And then Faith, even though it's like she's going down the bad path, she still wants to help that man, the man that saved her or got her out of there. And accidentally leaves the potion on the table, and this lady that keeps coming to her mom, it was like, oh, some wine, and just drinks it without asking any questions, just drinks it. And she's like, okay, I'm with him now. I like that they liked each other though. Like they had already communicated a few times before that, so it was interesting to see. I am so glad that Faith got saved at the end, and I'm so glad that Diaz got saved at the end, and they could be happily ever after. Also, I really liked that at the end of the book, it talks about how they started a little school and they have a library, and so Faith is teaching girls mainly how to read and write, and then Maria opened a library and is like, this is a safe place, and I was just like, it also was a little weird that it was talked about how Faith loses her powers and she can't do magic anymore. But then towards the very end, she kind of gets a new familiar. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to see if there's the second book, what that one's about, because I think maybe Faith gets her powers back, and that was just like a little sneak peek, like, hey, this horse started following her around. So yeah. I also think it's funny that if you look up, yes, I looked it up. If you look up Owens Library or Owens School, there are actually colleges and libraries around the U.S. that are named Owen or Owens. I was like, that's kind of cool. Like, I know it's probably not. I mean, it's most likely not anything to do with witches, but I was like, I'm gonna start thinking it every time I see something that says Owens. It's just gonna pop into my head now every time. I know, I'm being silly. Anyway, that is all I have to talk about. Like I said earlier, I really liked this book. I am now reading Flower Heart. So I can't take the cover off, but I am reading Fruit Baskets, Volume 5, Plants Around the World. I know I'm not going to be reviewing this. I'm just letting y'all know I'm reading it. I'm finished Harry Potter, so the next video after this one will be a video on Harry Potter. Yes, I've made a video on Harry Potter before. There's always something new to talk about. You're mixing colors? That's nice. I'm gonna listen to, what was it called? Before and Laughter by Jimmy Carr. If you want to be doing the reading challenge with me, you can find the link for this down below. If you have problems clicking on that link, if it doesn't let you see the list, please comment below and let me know. I don't know exactly if that's how it works. But this is the one I've deemed adult. And this one is the preteen teen reading challenge. It's more for teenagers. I have found that there are a few books on the list so far that some younger preteens probably shouldn't read, but when you Google them, it says they're for 9 and up. So, yeah. Stay tuned for my videos on all of those also, and yeah, I will link everything below. Don't forget, I am an Amazon associate. Good job! So that means that when you click on the link and you buy something, I may get a small portion of the price the sales price. Yeah. I don't know what all that covers. I probably need to look more into that, but I got stuff to do, like reading. I don't have anything else to say, so like this video if you like my video, and comment below if you've read any of the books that I've talked about. What do you think of them? And let me know if you have any book suggestions that I can put on my to read or to maybe add to next year's challenges. And subscribe. I forgot where I was going. Subscribe so that you can see all of my videos without having to search for them. And share this video with someone else who likes magical books. I will see you on my next video. Bye!